Excellent. Conscious, honest, authentic talks from a divinely inspired voice of ascension. Dr. Marrian Sista Efua, for those who are formal. You can follow my name up above and become one of my followers. Make sure that when you follow, you don't like sneak this follow me, right? You follow me and you keep following me. And you tell 5 frenemies and 5 friends and 1 person you love and 1 stranger about the stuff that we're talking about here, to learning about how to ascend ourselves into our highest and greatest existence. That's what this whole conversation is about. I am a healer. I am a spiritualist. I am a Clara everything, right? And some other stuff that I'm learning about. But what I use this platform is for, and you can click the link in my bio if you want to set up a reading or consultation, you're welcome to do that. So welcome to the room. Welcome to the room, all of you that are here. Listen, I want to talk to y'all about the 7 stages of alchemy on today. Alchemy is about transformation. Now, traditionally, alchemy was about, you know, taking one element or one item and transferring it into transmuting it into another form, like, you know, silver to gold or iron to gold, things like that. That's where that comes back to. And most people see the, you know, the Dark Ages in Europe. However, alchemy has been around way before the Dark Ages, and it just was mastered because people saw the darkness, the dimness, and they were trying to find ways to escape the plague and other things in Europe. And so he who writes the history is going to tell the history from their perspective. So today we're going to be talking about alchemy. So alchemy has 7 stages. And let me just go back and tell you also that alchemy occurs physically, alchemy occurs spiritually, and alchemy occurs mentally. So when you, and within those 3 areas that it occurs, there are sub layers, right, or sub dimensions in each of those areas too. Thank you so much. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So I want to make sure that, Yep, that's true. You got the facts. Some of y'all got some facts. I'm a historian. My background is cultural anthropology and world history. That's something that I pride myself in, specifically looking at and tracing the origins and impact and influence of African cultures. All right. So anyway, so like I was saying, we're going to talk about the 7 stages of alchemy, right? There are 7 stages of alchemy. And again, it is a necessity if there's going to be any type of transformation. So when people say, you know, hey, my life is different. I made a decision. I'm going to be different. I'm going to not be so toxic or allow toxic people. I'm healing. All of that is involving alchemy, because we're going to be talking about the different forms, the elixirs, and about the using fire, and about using, discarding, and all those different levels we're going to be talking about today. So if you don't have a pen and paper, you probably want to get a pencil and paper out, because my conversations that I do on here require you to really take it away and apply it and just live your best and highest life. Have an exponential existence, an existence that is expansive on a regular basis. It's more than what you see, right? That's who you are, and that's what we're doing here today on our chats. Welcome everybody to the room that is coming in. Tell a friend, tell 5 frenemies, 5 enemies, 1 person you love, and 1 stranger that we're here talking here, having a conscious, honest, authentic talk with a divinely inspired vision of ascension. So as I said, 7 stages of alchemy. There are 7 stages, and as I said, alchemy is necessary if there's going to be any type of transformation or transmutation of anything, right? We know matter can either be destroyed or created, but it can always be transmuted and transformed, right? So that means energy, that means thoughts, that means beliefs, that means physical body, that means physical spaces. All of these things can be transmuted. So regardless if it's physical, mental, or spiritual, it involves passing through these 7 stages. And I'm going to show you how you take the basic science 7 stages, and I broke them down to even include what that looks like for us when we are doing things from a mental or spiritual component, because all of us want to be spiritual. We want to be elevated. We want to have our higher selves, right? So we're going to be talking about that today, right? So alchemy used to be very secretive. People thought it was very secretive. It was something like woo, like I said, because of the Dark Ages and the times they tend to associate with that. But now the esoteric symbols and formulas and metaphors are more commonly used. And sometimes people are not even aware that what they're using is an alchemic formula or sigil or symbol. But as I said, you know, during the 1500s, the 16th century, aka the 16th century, This is when the alchemists were really, they were killed. They were killed in Europe for being alchemists, right? Because they felt like you were doing, it was heresy. It was what they call heresy, okay? I'm just thinking of what things come to my mind. I don't write down stuff, I just say I'm talking about the 7 stages, and then I make myself some notes, and then I talk about it, okay? But I just want to let you know, like, to be an alchemist, for me to be saying, hey, I am a life alchemist, I'm a life alchemist. Back in the day, if I was in Europe, but I would have been in Africa, so I might have been okay. Okay? So anyway, yeah, so anyway, it happened in the 16th century. What else can I tell you? So anyway, these 7 stages is what's going to create what those of us in science and alchemy, spiritual alchemy and life alchemy talk about, the great work, right? This idea of the great work, or the magnum opus. You may have heard that. If you watch The Matrix, she talked about that when she wrote that. She talked about Magnus, where his name is coming from. Anyway, so it's about the purification and refining of an element so much that you can extract the purest form of it and then transform it, transmute it into something else. And that's what happens when you are going through your personal transformation. You are deciding to get to the purest part and strip off all the lies, all the deceit, all the anger, all the hurt, all the rejection, all the poverty, whatever it is, the weight, right? The physical poundage. You're willing to shave it off to get to the purest essence of who you are. Yeah, that's some good shit, ain't it? I love talking like that, right? I love talking about that. It's getting to the golden core of who you are. That golden essence of who we are, right? The golden form. So these 7 stages have 3 phases. 3 phases. I'm just going to give you very quickly. If you want to know more about that, I go in depth when people coach with me and let me mentor them. I do have a subscription. You can click the link and join. It's $60 a month. We do it for 6 months. We meet every week. I teach you something else about spiritual development of your gifts, of you accessing tools that can support you, lifestyle practices and events that you can connect and learn about that can help you to become more of a personal life alchemist, right, for yourself. So if you want to know more, just click on the link above. So there. And in those 3 stages, we're going to talk in those 3 phases, not stages, 3 phases, PHRASES, in the 3 phases of blackening, whitening, and reddening. That's when you're going to see the elements begin to take on a different form for different purposes. And then once they're in that stage, the way that you get what you need to get out of that stage, we're going to talk about in the 7 stages. So we have 3 phases: blackening, whitening, and reddening. And then we have 7 stages that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about with Sister Efua. So I'm going to have to relocate because I just realized this is kind of giving me a hard time with the link. So I'm going to switch positions for a second. I'm by myself today, y'all, so work with me. I don't know what they doing. So hang on. Hang on. 1 second. And I always get like pet peeves when I see people doing this. But look at me. I'm doing it. All right. So I'm back. All right. So these 7 stages we're going to go through, and I'm going to start out with the first one. If you're new here, I am Dr. Marrian Sista Efua of Azon Life Alchemy Center. And we are doing what we have to do today. All right. So the 7 stages are going to be calcification stage is the first one, right? That's the blackening first part. And in this stage, we're going to be using fire. We're going to be using fire, right? During this calcification stage, you're going to use fire. It is about burning it all over, reducing it down to ashes. Now, on a mental and physical layer, that could be when you have your hardest or your lowest point, or when you hit rock bottom, and when you just feel like you're tired, you can't take it anymore, right? Yes, you can't take it anymore. It's too much, right? You can't handle it. So you're being broke down. You're having your disappointments. You're having breakdowns. But when you go through this process, I want you to consider that when you're going through this process, you are also going to rise back up. See what people think about. Some people get stuck in the breakdown, right, of the burning when the fire is there. You know, your heart is broken. You're feeling like you just can't go on. You're wondering if this could get any worse. You might as well just lay down and die. At that point, that's when the fire is refining you, is burning away all of those things we just talked about. The bad relationship, the lies, the deceit, the poverty, the firing from the job, the inability, the illnesses, the destruction, whatever has occurred during this calcification stage where the fire is being put upon you. It is to burn away all that bull crap that has been destroying you, distracting you, that has you in this current position, right? Somebody said to me, you know, you seem like you, no matter what you go through, you bounce back, because I'm understanding that I'm going to go through 7 stages and 3 phases of alchemy whenever I have anything that goes awry. When people lie on you, let them lie. Don't chase the lie. Just keep rising. Let them lie, see it, burn it up, and let it transform into something else in your alchemic formula. This is, I'm trying to tell y'all something. Y'all asking me, how do I do it? I'm telling you, this is what alchemy is about. Life alchemy is about being able to take conditions, circumstances, and events and experiences and transform them into something that is beneficial to you and your exponential existence. Welcome to the room, Campbell. Thank you. Hey, Ajua, how are you? I don't know if you're still here or not. Ajua, how are you? Yes, so glad you are here. So glad you are here. Good to see you. Blessings and peace to you. As you can see, I am well and progressing. I lost a lot of weight. So my life, like I just went through a phase. So Ajua knows I just went through a phase where I burnt away a lot of the heaviness, a lot of the problems, a lot of the burdens, a lot of the issues that were trying to distract me. They were trying to get me off my path. So I had to release it. Yeah. And when you release it and when you expose it, then you can burn it up and you get into that blackening stage. So you're reducing it down to ashes. So next we're going to go to the second phase, which is called dissolution. Dissolution, you may have heard. This is the liquid stage, and that we're going to use water for. Pure water, H2O. We're going to use water for that purpose. And that's when people begin to make elixirs. It's done through the fusion. It's going to allow you to access the dark parts that got you to that place where you put on all that extra weight, where you were exposing yourself to toxic people, where you met the narcissist, since that's a popular word these days and times, right? When you began to accept the negative habits that allowed you to have a negative relationship with your finances. When you begin to ignore your need for personal self-care. And just for the record, news alert, beep, 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 beep. Self-care is not getting a haircut, getting a massage, and getting your nails and feet done. That's only a physical aspect of it. You also have to address your emotional, mental, and your spiritual. That's self-care. That's real self-care. Thank you so much. Thank you for following. I appreciate you, Ronald. Welcome to the room. Thank you so much. Let's follow each other. Let's remember we're here. So this dissolution or developing of this elixir, as I often say from stages, and if you ever heard me speak, I often say, they say, well, what is an alchemist? And I say, well, an alchemist is somebody who's able to look at your life, pull together all the elements, put them into an elixir, and apply them to you so we can begin the other stages of your healing and evolvement and expansion. That's what this is about. So you're going to begin to filter out your mind during this time, spiritually and mentally. You're going to begin to filter out your mind all the chaos. What got me here? What is this pain? What was I to learn from this experience? How do I develop a new level of ritual, of practice, of belief, of action that will take me away from the things that came into my mind unknowingly and knowingly? That's important for you to know. People say stuff like shadow work. You hear that a lot around here too. You know, people talk about doing shadow work, you know, going into have a shadow moment, dark shadow of the soul, something I heard somebody say.
I don't know all them terms. I don't get into them. It just sounds like, I'm a Marvel comic girl, so we do the real stuff. But anyway, moving on, right? So moving on. The third phase is going to be the separation phase. Ooh, sounds like, woo, some of y'all like, not another separation, but separation is sometimes required. You just like when you're doing, when you take milk and you want to make butter or you want to make cream, the water is going to be on the bottom, but the actual cream is going to be on the top. So you have to separate it. You got to separate it. So separation should not be a bad thing. Sometimes we're being separated from people, places, ideas, circumstances, and conditions. We are being separated from people, places, ideas, beliefs, people, and places, and circumstances because we need to be able to take the highest quality of that. Now, right? The highest quality of that and apply it to where we need to apply it. In alchemy, that's what we do. We burn it to ashes. We add some water to it, right? And then we begin to separate or discard the water that's taken away more of the impurities that we don't want in our lives, that don't want in the element that we're trying to extract. So you're going to look objectively at the parts of your life, your personality. You're going to begin to discard all of those things that don't serve you anymore. Sometimes we're trying to hold on to people, places, ideas, beliefs, circumstances, and events, and we're giving it too much power because nothing has power until you give it power. Nothing has meaning until you give it meaning. A person doesn't have power until you recognize that who they are and what they represent is powerful. That's the difference. That's what most people are forgetting to do. Oh, I left this over there. Oh, I spent this amount of money. Oh, I had this amount of time put in. It doesn't matter if it's no longer serving you. Welcome to the room, Dooney. It doesn't matter if it's no longer serving you. This separation process that's why we go through the first process. First, we want to burn up everything we can so we don't go run back. Hey, we want to burn up that plan, that blueprint, because that didn't work. Then we're going to, when it's in ashes, we're going to add water to it to separate and see, okay, what's really left? Now that we've burnt up everything, what's really left? Out of the ashes, what survived? Because that's the thing that we want to possibly hold on to. If it survived the fire, if it survived the water, and now we're in the separation phase. We're going to go and we're going to look at it objectively. We're not going to judge ourselves. We're not going to judge others. We're not going to blame ourselves. We're not going to blame others. We are going to put ourselves into position to be able to separate and identify and recognize and honor our true, authentic, real self. Before the lies, before the bad talks, before the judgment, before the ill words, before the abuse, before the lies, before the deceit, before the breakup, before the bankruptcy, the real true self. That's what we are doing. The real aspects of your true personality. And let me just give you a spoiler alert. You may look and think and behave totally different than you did before. And that's how you know you're in the alchemic process. I'm Dr. Marrian Sista Efua, aka the Chat Diva, conscious, honest, authentic talks here, sharing with you during our chat time. We're talking about the 7 stages of alchemy. There are 3 phases: blackening, whitening, and reddening. And then there are 7 stages. We've gone through the first 3. The first one is calcification, where we're going to burn things. We're going to blacken them. We're going to burn them up. We're going to burn things up. And then the second stage is we're going to begin to do a dissolution. We're going to put some water to it and form an elixir, so we can get to the essence of what's really there. Let's wash it off and let's see how much is really there, what's really there, how can we utilize it. Then we're going to the third stage, which is the separation stage, which is where we're going to begin to objectively look and see. Right? We're going to pass it through a filter, and we're going to get rid of any extra impurities that might have attached itself. We're going to get rid of it. That could be a friend, that could be a family member, that could be a photo, that could be a location. Because you can't change locations, right? But you can change your mind around what happened in that location. Yeah, that might have been a horrible spot, but I can move forward. Okay? All right.
If you want to follow me up at the top and above. I talk about things like this all the time here on live. If you haven't followed the Facebook page, not Facebook, the YouTube page, go ahead and follow. The link is up above. If you click the link, you can learn a lot more about me, and you can work with me in the other ways as well. All right, so number 4 says a conjunction stage. The conjunction stage. Now listen, this one is a little more complicated because it is when you take the purified matter. Remember, we've gone through this stage where we are now our true authentic self. So this conjunction is going to take this purified form of us, right? It's going to take, are y'all ready? The conjunction, just like a word conjunction, you're going to add 2 parts together. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the purified matter from the separation and you're going to create a whole new substance. So now this new pure authentic personality, this new existence that you've identified within yourself now, beyond the chaos, the hurt, the pain, the lies, the labels, the false personas, the fake laughs, the dressing up because you got to try to prove that you're worthy. All of those things you were doing in reaction to other people's expectations. Now we're going to take that true part of you and we're going to join it with a conscious and unconscious mind to match it. So we're going to begin to put you in environments where it's going to force you to honor this new you. We're going to give you some ideas, some beliefs, and share with you some practices that allow you to join your new self with the higher consciousness, and begin to replace those things that are left in your subconscious. Like, I'm fat, I'm ugly, nobody cares about me, I'll never have anybody else, oh, I'm dumb, or I always get fired from my jobs, I can't run a business, I'm horrible, I don't belong here, my family didn't want me, I'm adopted, I was abandoned, I'm rejected, I'm fat, I'm old, whatever is in your subconscious. Right? Whatever's in your subconscious, we're now going to take that new you in the alchemic stage. We're going to take that new thing and create a even newer substance by giving you the tools you need in order to bring a conjunction. Does that make sense with y'all? Y'all still with me? I know we're fluctuating in the room. That's okay. Because this conversation is not for the weak. I told y'all, when y'all come in here, we having real conscious, honest, authentic talks. Talks that are really going to support you in your ascension to your higher self, and also heal you in the process. This process is a healing process, because healing is not a cure. Healing is a process of daily practices, beliefs, and tools that allow you to separate. Listen, there it is again, to separate yourself from that which you think you need to honor and achieve. That's it. Okay. So we're going to the 5th stage. The 5th stage is when we're going to begin to ferment, because we got to let it ferment. Like a good wine has to ferment, right? The fermentation is where the quote unquote, I call it the new child, right? The new being, or the new being is maturing. If we were really in a scientific environment, we would say we're waiting for the bacteria to begin, the fungi to begin to change it. So it's going to begin to ferment. And as it's fermenting, you're going to take this moment when this new life in your new minds, your new thoughts, your new behaviors, your new communities, your new actions, your new lifestyle, the new way you eat, the new way you listen to things, the new way you show up. I want y'all to hear that word, show up. Every day, all day, regardless of who's in the room. Right? Regardless of who's in the room. It is your new lifestyle. Okay? It's your new lifestyle. It's your new agreement. It's your new contract to be authentically you. It's a reminder and an application of the original assignment you agreed to before you were even placed into the womb of your mother. This is the level of consciousness that when you get there, you know it. You can take on this new form and you don't have to shapeshift anymore because you're afraid, because you need to belong. You're welcome. You need to belong. Now you got it. You can read your sacred soul script. You're ready. You're moving. You're grooving. But we're not done yet because we still got 2 more phases. Right? The distillment phase. When we're going to further purify this substance, this new lifestyle, this new being that you have become, we're going to further. And let me just tell you that in scientifically, when we do this, we try to purify it till it becomes more liquid, more flexible. So this is where you should be more flexible, more fluid. You understand that things are not happening to you. You are choosing what comes in your life. You're not just taking everything. You can now be the gatekeeper to your life. You can now determine what is a valid interaction or not a valid interaction. You can determine what's part of your life purpose and what isn't. You can determine and choose how long someone is in your space or not in your space. You can determine how you continue to be unconditional love, honor, respect, and that when people are not at that same level of contribution, you're okay with releasing them. That's the fluidity that we're looking for in the distillation stage. You're going to open up your spaces and have new insights and not be condemned by them, not worried about them, not concerned about them. You're going to go beyond the breakthrough, because everybody said, oh, we're going to give you a breakthrough. But I learned in this process as an alchemist, we got to get beyond the breakthrough. What happens once I break through? Once I break through, I need to be shaking and grooving. You need to be shaking and grooving. Full acceptance of who you have transformed to become. Because in essence, it is who you be authentically before anyone or anything has had a chance to disrupt, corrupt, and frame you. Now you're walking vulnerable, naked, in peace and harmony, in a harmonic exponential existence. Understanding that you are interconnected with everything that is around you, yet able to disconnect when it is no longer required. Simultaneously. And if you've been with me long enough, if not, go to my YouTube page and you see I have a video that talks about the stages of life self-actualization. When everything is happening to you, that's why you need to go through the 7 stages of alchemic practice. If you believe everybody's against you, go through these 7 stages. It's because you are giving space to things that shouldn't be there. We got to burn it up and come to the core. All right? We got to burn it up and come to the core. Yeah, we're talking about what alchemy looks like, what life alchemy actually looks like, how it can apply to your life. This conversation is not for the weak. This conversation is not for people who just want to come in and see. That's why when I do spiritual consults, I know what I'm doing, because I'm going beyond that. I'm giving you something that you can walk out of here with and you can truly enjoy and adhere to your life and have a real transformation in your life. Go beyond the breakthrough, as I said. Go beyond. Oh, my thing is slipping now. Oh, now it's slipping. Okay. All right. So let's go back and recap. We got 3 phases of alchemy: the blackening, the whitening, and the reddening phase, right? And then within those 3 phases, we have 7 stages. The calcination stage, the dissolution stage, separation stage, the conjunction stage, the fermentation stage, the dissolution stage, the distillation, right, stage. And then the last one is the coagulation, coagulation. This is our final stage of transformation. This is when we say this is well done. This is when we are able to walk out into the world and we are vibing and we are seeing our lives begin to become truly full of abundance, full of unconditional love, meeting great people, going into spaces you never thought you could, and everything is aligning itself. Your physical optimal level of health is there. Your finances are in order. Your career, your business, your education, your skills, your knowledge is able to be leveraged properly and benefits you. You have rewarding and reciprocating relationships on every level of your life. Mentally, you are astute and astound in your mental state. Emotionally, you have agility, right? Spiritually, it is fully activated and you're in a full awareness of it and you're utilizing it and you're in total harmony. This is what this is. Your aura is showing that you are in harmony. You are moving the light surrounding your body. That aura is what's called an aura, right? Your chakras are all lined up. For those of you who need to know about the chakras, right? You're a full active vortex that is spinning and evolving and transmuting and utilizing and applying what needs to be done spiritually, physically, and mentally. No questions asked. No questions asked about these 7 stages. Because what's happening is that you have made a choice to transform and become a co-creator again of your existence. Sounds very, very interesting. Very possible. Some people might get upset and say, well, how can I be a co-creator? Like, there's only one creator. But isn't that where you come from? Isn't that where you return? Aren't you still aligned and connected? You're not disconnected. So therefore, once you get to go through this process, you can begin to honor that relationship even more. And you'll get more downloads, you get more uploads, and you'll begin to expand yourself beyond the truth of what they said the truth was. And you'll see the wisdom and you'll see the expansion. Absolutely, positively, so it is. So where are we at? Questions, ideas, thoughts. You gotta know that alchemy is the art of transformation. It's the art of transformation. Right? I told my friend one time, I said, when Jesus turned the water into wine, he's an alchemist. Because she's a Christian and she's, But like I said, alchemy originated like in Egypt, which is located in northern Africa. All right? Alchemists are here. Yeah, I can talk about it. What is there anything specific you would like to know about that? As I said, that blackening phase is when we're using the fire and we're turning it into ash. We're burning away things, right? I'm trying to see how much time I got to really, really, really get into that blackening stage. Let me see. What time is it now? 45. Yeah, I try to keep it light. And invite you to come and be a part of my community. All right, so I can say this. If you don't have... No, that blackening stage is part of the initial stage of the calcification stage. When we turn to fire and the flames are there and we're using liquid fire, when we're using fire, that's part of the blackening stage. It's the first phase that we go through to remove the impurities from ourselves, from our mind, and from whatever matter that has been identified and considered the most time-intensive phase. It takes the longest to do that. Because as I said, if you can imagine yourself having all the years of all the negative self-talk, all the years, yes, the stages are the subsections of the sections. The reddening section would be more like the fermentation down, right? Absolutely. So when we are doing this, we don't sit here and go, oh, I'm doing this now. We know that we got to burn away stuff. All the years of the abuse, all the years of the negative self-talk, all the years of people putting you down, you feeling rejected, you had a sidetracked mind and it took you someplace else. All of that has to go through that blackening stage. That's the first thing. You set fire to it so that you don't return to it. But within that, you want to maintain the lesson. So we're going to do the next stage, which is that we're going to put some dissolution to it. We're going to form an elixir using water or liquid. We're going to look at what allowed me to have this pain. What was the lesson of this pain? What was the moral of this experience, right? What do I need to take away as I'm creating and allowing this new part of me to develop and grow? Absolutely, positively, so it is. Remember, because we're creating a new child, a new being within ourselves. Accepting our role as co-creators. You're welcome. I'm honored that it can serve you. Yes, if you link in my link for this particular lesson, if you go to my YouTube page, this video will be uploaded to the YouTube page within 3 to 4 hours. They usually have it up on the YouTube page. But I would love for you to become part of my subscription plan. As I said, I have a subscription plan. We dive deep into conversations like this. You get to have me one-to-one. We do Zoom calls and we have a great conversation. We can go more in depth because we'll have more time, right? And there are other people that you can communicate with, and you can build your community and expand your community that you already have. Yes, please do. Please do. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you'll learn a little bit more about me. I'm honored. Like I said, I'm honored this can serve people, because I think that sometimes, like I said, people get stuck at, I'm going to transform. So I said to someone, people say, I say, you're doing a rebellious transformation. If you don't do it properly, it won't last for long. And they go, what do you mean? What do you mean? For instance, when people go through breakups, they tend to do makeovers on themselves. They're going to redo their hair. They're going to lose weight. They're going to buff up. They're going to do whatever it is they want to do. Right? But if you are not addressing that's the physical side of it, right? But what about the emotional, mental, and spiritual side of it? Are you going to burn away those habits, those traits? Are you going to burn away those conversations? Are you going to burn away those rituals, those daily habits that you have that attracted what caused you to pain? Now you see how this works out? Why alchemy is thebomb.com. Because now when you burn away everything and what's left in the ashes is that you have quality character. You just don't monitor how you share it or who you give access to. Now when we're going through the other phases, we can say, okay, now listen, let's put some things in place and take back control of who gets access to me on a level that could potentially cause a problem. Again, if you're not adding to your life, they shouldn't be there. You determine how long they're there. You determine who's going to come in, if they stay or not. Because my other saying is, time is only relevant to the person that is experiencing it at that time. If you are experiencing me for this last 45, 50 minutes, some people came in and they wanted to stay. Some people came in and they left. Why? Because it is always your choice. Absolutely, positively, so it is. So these 7 stages are happening, and that's why I say we talk about living in a harmonic existence, a harmonic exponential existence. There is no competition. When people are telling us you got to have this or that, no, you need to be, if you start being the purest essence of who you are, then when you begin to go out, you will attract the right amount of what you need, and it will keep you in harmony. But when we are excessive, when we are distracted, we allow things in that are too little or too much, and then it disrupts our harmony. That's why I said you don't blame other people. You just focus on you. What occurred that got me in this situation? Oh, I saw the red flags, but I chose to think that maybe that person would evolve because they would be around me, or I thought it was just a temporary phase they were going through. I tell people when I counsel them, when I give them consults, especially in my course on relationships, I remind people of this. Be the best listener you can as if you have a test at the end of the night. When your person is talking, you listen. When your person is doing, you watch. Because sometimes they will say things when they are most vulnerable, when they're most free with you. Not that they're hiding it intentionally. But if you meet some guy or some woman and they tell you that, yeah, I've never had a serious relationship beyond 2 months. And then they start throwing all this, I love you, I love you, I love you. Let's move in together. Let's get married. You weren't listening. Now, that is not to say that they cannot evolve, but I'm saying at that particular moment, you may keep dating them. Let's get past the 2 months round. Let's get past the 6 months. Let's get past the year and then assess. Is this person showing you character traits? Is this person honoring you? Are you how is their lifestyle really showing that they want something beyond 2 months? Don't go into it and get married and start having babies and then start complaining. No, you knew. You knew. So you honor yourself in saying, you know what? I was just enjoying it too much. I wanted to ignore it. I didn't think it was going to be a big thing down the road, but it ended up being a big thing. So, okay, let's just burn it up. Okay, I learned my lesson. And that's what I said when I said you're going through that purification process. Everything's burnt up. We're going to put a little water on it. Then we're going to distill it a little bit, right? We're going to begin to go and form this new being and let it ferment and grow. Give it some new opportunities. And then we're going to present this and we're going to live it and we're going to be it. Same thing with money, you know? The same thing with money. Thank you. The same thing with money. You go through money. Maybe your parents didn't tell you about money. I can talk about my own story better than any. I'm my own personal guru. You ready? So let me tell you about this woman named Dr. Marrian Sista Efua, aka the Chat Diva. Right? I grew up comfortable with my family. Our family is very African. I mean, I had godparents, I had grandparents, I had aunties and uncles, like 25 deep, right? And some of them will adopt you, you know, quote unquote, like auntie and uncles will say, okay, this is my baby. So this is what I'm going to make sure that even though their parents are doing for them, we're going to do for them. So I grew up enjoying life, right? But they never told me how to grow up and be auntie and handle money and what is a mortgage and about credit. And they never shared that with me. So when I became an adult, I had poor money habits, poor belief systems around money. I just thought you just go spend it. If you don't, call daddy, call mama. You know, not that we were super wealthy. Yes. So they haven't shared that with us. So I had to learn and develop. I had to go through the alchemy phase I had to burn up all the old habits, all the old ideas, go through this whole idea of bankruptcy and all that stuff. But out of that, I was able to create a lifestyle of rituals and practices that allows me an opportunity to have a successful business, life, and career. And I'm leaving the legacy with my children and grandchildren of the same. Yeah, I'm telling you, we didn't learn anything about money. Because most people don't want to talk about money. That don't want to talk about money because it hurts. But we need to have the conversation and find. That's why I said finances, financial assurances. Not just security, but assurances that it's going to be there and that you can rely upon it and that it can rely upon you. That's how you have that. When you can rely upon your money and your money can rely upon you, it is a real relationship. When your credit can rely upon you and you can rely upon your credit. When you can rely upon your habits are not going to interfere. That because Susie says she needs $20, you're going to give it to her when you know you need that $20 to go into your investments or your savings, or it needs to go for you to eat the next 2 weeks. So you don't have to go take a payday loan out, or you don't have to overdraft your credit card. Hey there, hey there. This is the example of how alchemy plays out in our lives. So we need to burn up all those habits, all those fears, all those old sayings that money is the root of evil, and if you people who get money, they change. You know what? You do. Because you realize you like having it, so you live your life differently, and you're not out here just begging Peter to pay Paul and slapping Sally. You're less consumed with trying to impress people and more concerned with to allowing your money to circulate and grow, to be your servant, to be a tool for you to use to access places, and do the same for your legacy. So this is why those 7 stages within those 3 phases are so important. I love talking like this, y'all. If y'all new to the room, welcome to the room. I am Dr. Marrian Sista Efua, aka the Chat Diva. I host conscious, honest, authentic talks from a divinely inspired vision of ascension. And I'm sharing these tools with you. And if you have not followed me yet, or if you have not gone and clicked the link in my bio, make sure you do. I have a lot of things to offer. I do spiritual consultations. I host retreats for men and women and couples. I also provide services in a subscription group to help you work with your spiritual development and understanding the things of metaphysicians. And so it's a great opportunity. Lots of fun, lots of things I do around the world. And I'm an author, all that's good stuff, but you'll figure that out, right? If you're vibing with me, you're vibing with me because I'm supposed to be here. That's okay. You can if you click the link in my bio, it'll take you to my YouTube. Give it a couple of hours. Like I said, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, they have it uploaded to YouTube and you can come in and find it. I thank you for being here, though. I'm really glad you're here. I'm really glad you're here. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes. So tell 5 frenemies, tell 5 friends, 1 person you love, and 1 stranger about chat time. That's here on our all of our channels: Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, right, and on the podcast, and on Apple Podcast, It's called Exponential Existence. All right. Yeah, so this is the type of thing that we have to have these conversations, because these are the things that are sucker punching us. You find love, you get a great position, or you create a great business, and you're being sucker punched by your subconscious. You're being sucker punched by the memories or the connections that are no longer valid, that you have to release. My last quote I will give you that I share, and people say it all the time, and I had to make sure I remind some people that it is copywritten and has been copywritten since 1999. All things are temporary for a permanent purpose. It is your responsibility to identify what that purpose is and how long temporary is. That's it. That's it. Okay? Go back.
Oh. I'm gonna keep it around with you because I ain't got shit to do. Okay. Bring a packages tomorrow.
See that? I just career, right? All right, sit down.
Of it, right? The things you actually have to do to get it done.
All right. I got both of them.
You have this belief that is not benefiting you. So it's time to revisit and maybe transform it or expand it or go deeper into that belief. Get to maybe you're missing something. And then for your spiritual aspect of alchemy, it is about your spirit and your soul. Again, connecting and hearing and trusting and believing and honoring it, putting it into action in your life. Absolutely, positively, so it is. You know, it's not about a entity as much as it is about spirit is your breath. Your soul is your divinity. However you need to do it. I'm just talking for me. Okay. So yeah, so like I said, the 7 stages are just there for you to go through, and you will go through them simultaneously most of the time. All right, y'all, I have come to the close of my time here with you on today. Thank you for being here. Again, tell 5 friends, 5 frenemies, 1 person you love, and 1 stranger about the chat time here with the Chat Diva here on TikTok. Check out some of my videos. Let me know what you think. As I said, I am a life alchemist. I am a healer. I'm an intuitive. I'm using that term because it makes it easier, right? But that's what I do. That's who I am. And I will see you again on the next time. Take care and thanks for being here. Bye-bye.